Hi there, welcome. I'm Tiff, one of the two Sapphic hags. If you caught our last video, I set up my first COMMONPLACE book to plan and document travel, along with my other interests and hobbies like reading. And since then, I've decided to create a monthly journal spread after the fact, so a month in review or monthly recap, if you will. For me, this ticks multiple boxes. I get that like creative fulfillment from the process of making something tangible and aesthetic. And then even though I use my tablet during the prep phase, the actual journaling process is very analog and gives me like a break from my screens. And then I think it also helps me slow down and take an inventory of, what I've accomplished or just like lived over the last month. And even if it's just like consuming TV or going to the movies, it's very much on the theme of romanticizing my life. I think something that we could all do right now. It'll essentially serve as a reminder of just, how grateful I should be. So the first month in review is January. And so I'm a sucker for stickers, and I have vinyl sticker sheets that you can print on. So I decided to download images of the books and like the album art that I've been reading or listening to over the last month, and then adding them to Canva on just like a standard letter size um, page, like paper. I already have a running document that I use for like any pretty projects. Like if you caught the monthly Polaroid photo calendar that I made over on TikTok, this is like basically the same concept, except that you're going to print it out on vinyl paper and then cut it out. I also added some artwork and some just like free graphics on Canva just for the overall aesthetic, like the bunting I thought was really cute. And then I pulled from my own sticker supplies as well. After printing and cutting out the stickers, I turned my attention to the layout. What do I want to include in the journal spread and what aesthetic finish do I want to achieve? I started by looking at various journaling examples on Pinterest, and I've added these to our Poet Core board on Pinterest. So if you want a closer look, I'll put that in the description. For the first few months of the spread, I plan to reference these examples quite a bit because, why I learn what I like and what I don't like in practice versus just conceptually. And hopefully I'll be able to contribute my own style to the mix. I imagine collage elements will become a greater part of my journal, as that's something I feel like um, creatively, at least I'm drawn to, especially in the visual sense. And I ended up saving a bunch of the flowers, like the January monthly flowers, with the intention of doodling them, and then I didn't use them at all. So hopefully in the future I will do that. I'd like to get more practice with illustration. It's not something that I'm naturally gifted at, so I think that would be a fun exercise and a real like brain break as well. Also, I love the idea that these people had of creating like playlists for the month. I thought that would be a really good idea in the future. Maybe for February, I'll either borrow one of these and like recreate it on Spotify or Apple Music and then share it below, or maybe even create my own. We'll see. And so, like, along with the stickers and layout, I want each month to have its own color palette that essentially feels like that month visually. In January, I noticed that a lot of the examples on Pinterest were very cool tone, lots of blues. There's like a little icy colors. For me, I tend to lean slightly on the warmer side and go for the muted colors. In this palette, I really liked how it had like the dusty rose elements in there, and it matches my like the overall aesthetic of the journal setup that I did in the last video, so I thought that was really nice. And to incorporate these colors into the journal, I'm not using anything fancy. These are just like basic Crayola markers, like a larger set, and I'm just pulling them out, and the actual color doesn't always match the cap, but I'm putting a little faith in these here and just holding it up to the palette on my screen just to see like what really works together, what doesn't. And you'll notice I pick some out, I put them back, some are a little too cool, and then in the end we get this kind of color set that really reflects that palette, and then for me the visual vibe that I want for January. Little cat break for your viewing pleasure. That's Asa. She says hi. Okay, so now that everything's picked out, printed out, like we're ready to go. This is really where I start to finally get to mentally shut off and start create and just let my brain relax and enjoy itself for a few minutes. So I'm going to do the same for you and leave you with some chill music. So feel free to journal along if you'd like, or just watch and zone out. Thank you again for being here. All right, that's it for my January in review spread. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for stopping by and hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in a week or two for the February in review. So that you don't miss it, please like and subscribe, and let me know if there's any elements you think I should include for next month in the comments. Thank you guys so much.